cooler. Because, like, I don't know. I never thought that they needed to, like, break apart.
Yes, because in the movie, too, they don't talk, the pieces.
Yeah.
So I think visually it was better for them to do that than in the book having them talk. But I would assume by magic they probably piece themselves back together.
So Harry goes to bed not expecting anything the next day, really.
I was actually kind of surprised to find that wizards celebrated Christmas at all. I guess there's a lot of things that don't carry over, and that, I mean, I know Christmas is like the biggest holiday ever, but I guess I was still kind of surprised. They have their whole parallel universe, and Christmas is still a thing. That's all.
I do think it is a little different that the kids had the packages end up at the bottom of their bed. I don't know if they were magicked there or if somebody creepily put them at the bottom of their bed.
We actually talked about this on an earlier episode. When Harry gets his broom, we were like, hey, don't you think they'd be able to just kind of get something right to you?
Yeah.
Yes, they can.
Apparently.
They chose not to and delivered his broom in the middle of the Great Hall. I was kind of surprised that my brain even went back that far. But yes, they can totally just send shit right up to your bed.
That's a point for Nate right there. Potter point.
Harry is surprised that he has anything at the end of his bed, but Ron, he's not surprised at all. He's like, what the fuck did you think was going to be there? Which I thought was kind of cute because even if they don't have money, Ron knows he's fucking getting presents every Christmas.
He's still a child.
He doesn't even question it. He's like, duh, it's Christmas. There's fucking presents. And Mr. and Mrs. Weasley take care of their kid when they know they need to. Even if they're not there, even if they're in Romania, the kids are still getting their sweaters and their fudge.
It enforces the fact that the Weasleys are good people. And they're good parents. So Harry, even though his pile is small, he doesn't care. Because he got anything at all, and he's super excited about that.
This has got to be the best way to spend Christmas as an 11-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Just being able to have a pile of presents on your bed and being able to rip into them.
I have two really quick points, and then right back to what you were saying. One, I don't know if he's ever gotten presents before for Christmas. Or if they were, they're probably shitty. So this is his first time getting good presents. And two, wouldn't you try to open your presents with magic? And try and make all the wrapping paper explode off your stuff. You'd probably destroy them. I would try.
At the very least, you would Wingardium Leviosa them bitches over to you so you don't have to get up.
Right.
Oh, presents in bed?
Right?
Fuck yeah. This got me, though. The first thing he opens is a hand-carved flute from Hagrid. Don't you feel like an asshole now?
Yeah.
You were all telling him that you were going to do the exact thing that he told you not to do, and you were all happy about it, and you were pressing him to give you information that he was pissed at himself for giving you, and now you see that you've been such a dick to this guy who took a long time to hand-carve an instrument for you that actually works and sounds like an owl.
And it's a delicate flute. And Hagrid is a big motherfucker. How hard do you think it was for that dude to carve something that little?
Without breaking it.
Without magic, too. Because I bet you he didn't use his fucking umbrella for that.
I had forgotten this detail since the last time I read the book. So when I read that, I was like, Harry, you motherfucker, you go apologize now.
That's that parent side coming out in our second time round here, guys.
I think so.
The Dursleys send him a 50 pence piece, which I actually think is more than I would expect him to give.
I'm not sure the equivalent of that in American dollars.
I did look it up. I found different things. It looked like it was like 14 cents per 10 pence.
Their dollar is worth more than ours currently, I believe. Yeah, so that makes sense.
So I did look it up. It's not a clean conversion.
Now, as far as him ever getting a gift, I would think that the Dursleys would wait to give all of Dudley's old stuff to Harry. All of his old clothes and school books and things he doesn't use anymore. That way they don't have to spend money on him and they could spend all the money on Dudley.
Oh, good point.
Rather than just giving it to him throughout the year.
I feel like that would be a very nice thing of them to do. But in my head, he sat there in the corner and watched Dudley open his 100 presents and was like, shit.
I don't think the Dursleys were as nice as we think they might have been by sending him a gift. I think this is a peace offering from Vernon. He was so scared that Harry was going to run off and become a wizard, and now Harry's run off and become a wizard. So when he comes back, because he is coming back, that should worry you. So Vernon, he is a cheap ass still. He's not going to send him a lot. But that he sent him anything at all, I think he's scared. And he's like, please don't come back and kill me. Just going to put a little bit in the bank every time. And in like maybe 7 years when you come back, that'll be enough to make you not mad.
Little do they know that he's like loaded now.
Yeah. Then he gets the coolest thing of all, a Weasley sweater.
It's got a name.
Hand knitted, just like all of the boys. Every year they get a new one.
Ron specifically got a hold of his mom and said, hey, Mom, I don't think my friend's going to have any fucking gifts. So could you please get him something? And then she did. And, like, yeah, that was the sweetest thing ever. And it's green to, like, match his eyes. In, like, the very first podcast, we talk about Harry not having green eyes and how it pissed me off. But apparently the reason he didn't is because of the shape of his eye.
He couldn't put a contact in his eye, is what I read.
And apparently J.K. Rowling...
They asked her what she thought, if it was a big deal. And had she said yes, it was a big deal, then Daniel Radcliffe would have been outed from a job. And J.K. Rowling said, it's more important that Harry's eyes are the same as his mother's. Regardless of the color, it just matters that they're the same color.
So they changed both of their eyes.
Right.
For Harry.
The woman that plays Lily Potter has the same color eyes as Daniel Radcliffe, who plays Harry.
Mind blown right now.
So-
I can't. Now I'm going to have to watch. Like, we got to watch.
Like, I can't really be mad if J.K. Rowling was fine with it. It is her story. I've just always had an affinity for the green eyes because it has a connection to, like, magic, and a lot of my favorite magical characters have green eyes. And so the fact that he lost them made me sad. But,
Our favorite color is green.
yeah, that too.
We both have green eyes. Well, yeah. Like hazel.
Yeah. You can call
Green.
my eyes green. I'd like that better than brown.
We have green eyes, Jade. It's fine. That's what we're going with.
She says, twirling her hair.
I was just going to say total Barbie moment there. Like, totally for sure.
But I just wanted to give that little aside real quick about the eyes because Nate was reading an article and spat some information at me the other day.
Well, we had brought it up on an earlier episode, and I thought it was pertinent.
Oh, that's quality. That's some quality info.
I'm
right
always
there.
looking.
Stuffing Harry's face with his delicious chocolates from the Weasleys. He's opening his last present that he gets, wrapped again in brown paper, and it has a card with it that's addressed to Harry. It says to him, "This was left in my care. It belonged to your father. Use it well."
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty close.
Right.
A little twisted. So he opens it up, and Ron about shits himself when he sees it, telling Harry, that's an invisibility cloak. So Harry, he checks it out, puts it on, and sure enough, half of his body's gone. All you can see is his head floating there for a second.
Fucking invisibility. Next level shit.
So now Harry, all he can think about is who sent that present.
No name.
No name. Just, it was your father's.
It's loopy handwriting that he's never seen, which means it's not the same handwriting that addressed his letters. And it's not Hagrid's handwriting.
So it wasn't Hagrid, and it wasn't McGonagall.
Right.
It could have been McGonagall sent the broom with the first one, and then Dumbledore sent the cloak for the second gift, anonymously.
Could be.
I do think it's funny that they thought it was a great idea to give an 11-year-old an invisibility cloak. This is the perfect time. Not going to wait a couple years until they're a little bit more mature, and maybe they'll think before they act. No, 11. When they're going through puberty, like, let's just let it go now. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, just turn them loose.
Let them go sneak into the girls' dormitory at 2 in the morning.
So Fred and George come in, and all the Weasleys have like a big to-do with their new sweaters. and it sounds like they're all fucking terrible. But something occurred to me while I was reading that, and it was that the Dursleys sent Harry 50 cents in a thing saying, hey, we got your letter. By the way, I'm not sure what letter that was.
I think it was just saying that Harry was staying at school for the Christmas.
So they wouldn't be expecting him. Okay, gotcha.
Right.
And so they sent him 50 cents. Literally the least they could do. And Mrs. Weasley hand knit all of these sweaters together and like put letters on most of them, not all of them, and didn't quite get all the favorite colors matched up either, but she spent a lot of time. It takes a long time to knit anything by hand, like a really long time.
You would know.
I would know. I have a blanket from my birth grandmother that was hand knit, and I love it very much, and I'm sure it took her a very long time to do, but I can appreciate that because Mrs. Weasley doesn't have money, but she does care. She loves them all very much, and she does have time. So
And
she
a
spent,
lot of kids.
right, and so she spent a lot of time making sweaters for each one of her kids to make sure they would be warm. And to further that point, probably because they're staying in a castle, and it's cold.
And they have to huddle around the cauldrons like damn hobo fires
Right.
doing potions.
They can see their breath in class. That's total bullshit.
Yeah.
James, you wouldn't have survived. Let's be real. You're not surviving that kind of cold.
No, I hate the cold.
You would never survive.
I do think it's a little funny how Percy comes in and he's like, what's all this noise? Dude, it's fucking Christmas morning. We're opening presents.
But
the fuck you think it is?
he is a prefect. He is so wound tight, he's got to stick up his ass.
I would not care. Of all the days to not care, Christmas is the not curious.
You can't fuck with Christmas morning.
So, Christmas dinner. There's tons of fucking food. 100 turkeys. Bunch of other shit.
It's making me hungry.
Hagrid's getting drunk.
Yeah. His face is all flushed and he's kissing Mick G.
Mick G's a little lit, too.
She must be. I think school's out, so now she's not so bitchy.
Yeah, we've never heard her giggle before, so she's got to be a little buzzed.
Or, like, even smile.
Yeah. They have wizard crackers, which are not the same as muggle crackers, which my grandma used to have, because she's fancier than we are.
Which, FYI, for those of you like me, are not crackers. It's not a food, people. I read it and thought crackers, like food crackers.
Crackers are just like tubes that when you pull them apart, they pop and there's shit inside, basically. And wizard crackers just have cooler shit inside. Harry ends up with non-explodable balloons, grow your own wart kit, and his own wizard chess set, so he doesn't have to hopefully be crushed.
I actually thought the same thing as Shantell, and I thought it was food. So when I read that he got stuff out of them, I was confused. But they're like party favors.
Apparently they put money in the dessert. Percy almost breaks his teeth. There's a fucking sickle in the pudding.
No big deal at all.
Yeah.
Really, that's dangerous. Somebody could choke or, like they were saying, break his teeth.
Honestly, I feel like I've heard that saying before. A silver sickle in the pudding. Like, it sounds familiar.
Could be a thing.
The saying itself. A silver nickel in the pudding or something like that.
Which is probably where she came up with the name sickle, let's be real.
Oh, could be.
That is actually a thing. Hold on. let me
Potter
pull it up.
points for James.
The Christmas Sixpence. Another Christmas tradition believed to have been brought over to Britain by Prince Albert, the husband of Queen Victoria. On the Sunday before Advent, families gathered in the kitchen to help make Christmas pudding. A silver sixpence was placed into the pudding mix, and every member of the household gave the mix a stir. Whoever found the sixpence in their own piece of the pudding on Christmas Day would see it as a sign that they would enjoy good wealth and good luck in the year to come.
I knew I've heard it before.
I had never heard of that before.
No, I hadn't either.
That's kind of cool. Nice one.
Yeah. I feel like it's dangerous to have coins in the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
dirty.
agree.
When I was little, I swallowed a penny.
Case in point. I think to do something like that, you would all have to know, hey, there's something
suppose-
in the pudding. Give it a good stir and check.
You gotta, like, tear it apart with your
Stab
fork.
your pudding, people. Stab
Yeah.
the pudding.
Okay, yeah, maybe we could, as long as we were all like, all right, this is gonna
We
get
would
messy.
know. We would be on the same page.
he probably had no idea that was even in there. So
No.
he just went